I know we have talked about this on our channel, but just in case you're new to this, I apologize profusely if you're new to this, but if you're new to this, this is the car we're going to be using for the challenge. So we bought the car in February this year. We bought it off a lovely lady called Liz. It was her daughter's and Jess had passed away quite suddenly. And we found that the situation was very emotional. I think there was tears all around that day because she was up clearing her daughter's flat out at the same time. So we promised her that we would do a charity fundraiser for the charity which her friends had nominated and were fundraising for, which was Mind UK. It's a mental health charity. And we have spent yesterday graphicking up our little 500.
Yeah.
So we have got the name of the challenge on the doors. And we have our Just Giving page, which obviously will be in the show notes. Yes, I love using the term show notes. But we do have a sense of humour to this, and I picked up these stickers and thought they were quite funny.
Not offensive?
Possibly, but the Italians do have a good sense of humour.
Also, however, actually will be untrue. There literally will be pasta left in this vehicle overnight, in Reims, if we get shopping.
Welcome on the very, very famous Lingotto rooftop test track, which is the main attraction of the building, as we all know. Famous for appearing in the Italian Job, among other things. And it's been used as a test track up until 1982, when it was that year the Lingotto finally ceased operation as a car factory. And as you probably know, the last cars to be made here are actually Lancia Deltas. The first 2 years of the production of the Delta were done here at Lingotto and then switched to Chivasso. And everybody knows this building dates back from 1922. That's the year of the inauguration. But of course, much of what you see today, actually, it's a post-war reconstruction because the British bombed it to smithereens.
I didn't know that.
During that minor disagreement called the Second World War. And so it wasn't obliterated, that would be an exaggeration, but large chunks of it were missing by the time the conflict was over. So yeah, 1922 design, but you know, with considerable parts that are a post-war faithful reconstruction, let's say.
I think that's the really important thing, though, is that it's a faithful reconstruction and it's been kept as a sort of working, living monument. Because they could so easily have gone, this is just some office buildings, old factories, demolish it and build a swishy 1990s mall instead. But they didn't. They kept the old bones of the building and made it into a shopping mall and hotels and stuff. It's a really special thing to do, to celebrate the industrial history of somewhere, because it's very rare that people celebrate industrial history. It's normally just bulldozed and new shit is put up instead.
Indeed, and that's largely due to the iconicity of the architecture itself, and the sensitivity of Fiat's owners at the time. I mean, we like to bang about Fiat's inept leadership, but I have to hand it to the Agnelli family that they actually were supportive of this project, and any notion of the Lingotto being simply demolished, as you said, were very, very quickly swept away. Someone thought about that, but that idea never really had any traction. I mean, everybody wanted to do something with it, for it to be preserved and live again in some form. And the process actually took decades.
I'm sure.
What we see here right now, it's a process that started in the early 80s and probably it has finished maybe right now.
Well, nothing's ever finished, I guess, because they'll be renovating a hotel. Well, I mean, the NH which we stayed in last night has obviously been renovated since Jim last stayed there a few years ago. So things are always changing.
And right now, the test track is a kind of a rooftop garden / contemporary art display. Some of the weird structures that you see, weird contraption that you see all around us, they're supposed to be contemporary art installation. And it's all due to the presence of this building here, which is the Pinacoteca Agnelli, which is the structure that houses what used to be part of the Agnelli family's personal art collection. Because you know, when you have money to burn,
By art.
buy art, why
Yeah.
not? I mean, and they got some absolute masterpieces in there. In fact, there are a couple of canalettos that I absolutely love.
Oh wow.
So, Mr. Agnelli was a man of taste, we all know.
The iconicity of Lingotto is being kept by Fiat to this day because of the little motifs that are now in the new Panda,
Yep.
the Grande Panda, which is really sweet. And again, it's really unusual for a car manufacturer to care about the heritage in that way. Certainly a bog standard, you know, bulk manufacturer.
Yeah,
Is.
probably that's because if it's all you got,
Yeah.
then you might as well use it.
Yeah, true.
Because there's nothing really left of what Fiat once was. And so, you know, the good memories. I mean, we're making cheap cars in Serbia.
Yeah.
And how do you make a cheap car from Serbia some kind preferable to the other cheap car made in Serbia? And so, you know,
Make it feel Italian.
yeah, you tick the nostalgia button and that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
by the way, good news about Fiat and Turin. Yesterday it came out the news that after nearly 30 years, they're actually gonna hire people for the Mirafiori factory.
Oh wow.
400 people are going to, new recruits are going to come in. The last time someone took a job at Mirafiori on the production line was 1997. The Marea was still in production.
Wow. Okay. Well, a turning point, or just a blip, just a little.
I would say it's a blip.
Yeah.
It's a blip, but you know, it's something. And I mean, they had to do it because the average age of the Mirafiori worker is 56 right now.
All right. Okay.
And we're back.
Where were we?
Oh, we were just saying about, like, you know, how it's quite surprising a car that costs as much as a telephone has less than a telephone. You know, has the ability to drive to Sicily and back, which is like over 4,000 miles.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, when we describe this challenge, kind of go, "Oh my gosh, what kind of car are you taking?" And then we say, "Oh, it's a 2013 Fiat 500." And people are like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Because we're so, you know, people are used to us having interesting classics or something retro or whatever. And this is a car that was sold up until like now, pretty much.
Yeah, they just discontinued them this year.
Yeah. But it is a thoroughly unsuitable car to do this in.
Yeah, it's
Really,
a city car.
as far as most people are concerned, right?
Yeah, it's a city car.
Yeah, it's a city car, and no one in their right minds in the UK would think that it was reasonable to drive to Sicily in a 1.2 litre, 60 horsepower city car.
Yeah.
You know, people buy long-range Teslas, they buy a BMW because they want to go to the south of France or whatever. They don't take a Fiat 500.
One of the things that I find is, you know, is interesting though is how also people perceive the car. I'm in a couple of the Facebook owners clubs, and you get like, I'm driving my 500 on the motorway next week. Should I be nervous? Or have you any suggestions for driving my 500 to Hull? Do I need to prepare it in any way?
Right, okay.
You know, so there is a certain type of person buys this car,
Yeah.
and then you kind of have this self-fulfilling prophecy of like, oh my God, I have to drive on a motorway at more than 30 miles an hour. Oh, how can I cope?
I know.
You know?
I know. Although I was saying that, I was asking myself the same question yesterday, parts of it, like,
Yeah, true.
when we're doing 80 miles an hour at 5,000 RPM. I can't eat on camera. Don't be scared of cheap cars. I
No.
think, like, you don't have to have a brand new £40,000 Golf. in order to successfully take you places. You know, this has done a month's service in Southern Europe
Yeah.
for £800. Plus, okay, a little bit of fettling, some tyres, a bit of service parts, but really,
But
it
it's
is
all bolt-on stuff. We
Yeah.
didn't need to rebuild the car.
No,
Yeah.
and it's way less than a couple of monthly payments on some boring grey thing.
But there's a huge caveat.
What's that?
As we like watching YouTube, tell the story about not economically viable and the Porsche Cayenne SUV.
Yeah, true. So you do have to be super careful what old shitbox you buy in order to have adventures in, because it needs to be something that is a bit robust. And a 20-year-old Fiat, as Matteo was telling us yesterday, or reminding us yesterday,
He is now known as Buns of Steel, Matteo. Buns of Steel. That man
I know.
could crack walnuts
He really
with
could.
his arse.
yeah, he really could. It's a shame we didn't have any to try.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, Matteo was saying yesterday.
Matteo was saying yesterday, these old Fiats are just bomb-proof. Like, you can not service them,
Yeah.
and they will just keep going
Yeah.
forever until the body eventually dissolves.
Yeah, which generally doesn't happen in Italy.
No.
Which is why I was looking at a Fiat Strada on Sicily, which, yeah, was a little tatty, but probably
keeps
had
going.
another 20 years of life in
Yeah,
it.
it just keeps going. And, you know, around Turin, the average age of cars must be 15,
Yeah.
I would say. Like,
Yeah.
most cars are a Fiat Panda of kind of the 2005 generation.
Yeah, second
onwards,
generation cars, yeah.
and the one after it.
Yeah.
But they just keep going, and they just thunder on, soldier on with little fire engines ticking along under the bonnet.
Anyway, you going to tell your story?
Yes, sorry. Yeah, you have to be careful with your shitbox though, because there are obviously some cars that have Achilles heels. So things like a Porsche Cayenne, as Nino, not economically viable, described in his recent video, you know, you can buy them for peanuts, but there is a reason, because the engine essentially dissolves itself, and to buy and replace that engine was something like £6,000 or £8,000 he worked out, which is completely and utterly out of the realms of sensibility when you've paid £1,000 for the car. And that's why there are no Porsche Cayennes on the road anymore.
Yeah.
But there are thousands of Fiat Pandas and Fiat 500s and whatever going around the world. Snow! There's snow! I was not prepared for snow. Oh, thank goodness for that.
Oh, yeah, the dickhead in the
Yeah.
GoPro.
Kind of goes back to what do you want from a car, right? Do you want something that simply just like gets you places and lets you have a life and lets you have adventures? Or do you want something that is like a status symbol that you pay through the nose for the privilege of having that status symbol?
And especially with the push to electric,
Yeah.
because my budget would not be enough to get a car that would allow us to do this.
No.
Because we can actually, yes, I'll put this in, because they were discussing me twice on the Motoring podcast
really?
recently.
we
One where
name
we
dropping?
were doing this,
Okay.
but the one previous to that was that the Dacia Spring has had a bit of an update recently. And what happens is that we know from people who work in the industry, Renault bring a ship full of Dacias in from China where they make them, and dump them all on the dealers and just tell the dealers to get rid of them. So what the dealers do is they pre-register the cars and they sell their £16,000 Dacia for about £10,000, £11,000, which is where my price range would be if I
Yeah,
was
that's
buying a
really
new car.
tempting, right?
It's really tempting. This is a bit which was funny in the Motoring podcast is because Andrew turns out and says to Alan, except for, you know, that nobody is going to drive one of those cars across the continent. And then there was a big dramatic pause and they went, oh yeah, hi Jim.
Maybe that's your challenge.
I hope you're enjoying southern Italy in your tiny city car. You know, but yes, they both said I was an outlier. Yeah, but that's the problem. My lifestyle and budget does not match the electric vehicle that I want. I probably in the high 20s
Okay.
would get me into something that I could actually use, but I don't want to go down that route of paying £400 a month for a car.
Or more, probably.
Because 2 months' payments bought this car outright.
Yeah.
And this has nothing to do with EVs or emissions or
No.
anything like that. It just comes down to the very simple fact that, going back to your point, is I could have a really nice car but never leave Wales.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I could have an £800 Fiat and go to Sicily
For a month.
for a month.
To what was it, 450 euros or something you spent on the apartment for a month?
Yeah.
You know.
Which is, by the way, twice the price of what our electric usage in the UK would be. And obviously that 450 euros included all the electric in the place in Italy.
Yeah.
So it was, in what we call gymonomics, I saved money, technically. Didn't have to put the heat on. Didn't have to run the jacuzzi.
No.
Just got into the sea and swam.
What about all the meals out and spritzes and things?
Yeah. Oh, it is all very heidi. The thing about road trips is I always think they're really good for your mental health because you do tend to talk a lot more to the other person and you tend to open up a lot because you're concentrating on stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
Maps and where we're going to do and how we're going to get there. And I'm concentrating on driving and all the strange noises the car is making.
Is it making a strange noise?
I think that's just the wipers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds like popcorn, the song.
Anyway.
It just did it again.
Oh yeah, I hear it. It is the wiper. But yeah, this goes to my point though that I've said in several of my videos. I think that cars are memory boxes. I think they are two things. They're a little world that, as Jim was saying, is a little cocoon where you can create memories inside it.
Yeah.
Because you are detached from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You're isolated. It's very intimate inside.
But yet you're constantly stimulated.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels rude to be in a car and just be on your phone the entire time. Like you want to engage with the other person, so you open up. And also, I do wonder whether we're not staring at each other over a table.
No,
And
yeah.
I wonder whether that helps. Just sitting side by side, you can kind of look into thin air, into the middle distance. And
Let your mind wander.
Yeah, but also talk about that.
Yeah.
And we've definitely done that over the years, chatted about all sorts of stuff in the car.
Yeah.
And the other part of a car being a memory box for me is kind of the more conventional one of, you remember that you took the car to swimming lessons and your grandma bought you an ice cream afterwards and she told you not to tell your mum, that kind of thing. And you remember that it was in her Mark I Ford Fiesta with the vinyl seats and you drop the ice cream on the vinyl seats, that kind of thing.
We see that so much at car shows.
Absolutely.
Because people come up and you can see they're making this mental connection to the car and it's literally time travel. It's taking them back.
It is.
A period where life was a lot more simple because you were 6.
Yeah, and that's why we love ordinary cars. Most people, when we say to them, "Oh, we're into classic cars," that's who we are. We'll go, "Oh, cool. Do you have a Jaguar or an MGB?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, no, because there are people who love those, and absolutely bang on. That's what you want." But what we love is that ordinary and celebrating that ordinary thing that influenced normal people's lives. An MG, influenced some people's lives, but they were not a Cortina.
Yeah.
Which everyone has a memory of and really engages. What?
We had a Wartburg.
You're a bit weird,
Okay.
I'm going to say.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's a Northern Irish thing or just a your family thing.
Yeah,
but your car choices were unusual by British standards.
Yeah, Wartburg, Polski Fiat 125P, Zastava 1300.
Yeah.
Skoda Estelle 120L.
Can I tell you what cars my granddad had?
Yugo 45.
Okay, sorry. Any more weird ones? And then Fiats.
Oh, I had an FSO as well.
You had an FSO?
I had
Okay.
an FSO.
And some Fiats.
And a lot of Fiats.
Yeah.
Although a lot of those sort of Eastern European cars. Oh, and my dad had a Lada 1200 Estate.
Oh yes, I remember you showing me
Because that is actually my earliest memory because it had an orange, it was a navy blue car and it had an orange interior,
Oh.
a vinyl
Oh,
orange interior,
nice.
and
No.
the boot had orange vinyl in it as well.
Oh,
and my
cool.
mum, in her infinite wisdom, went out and got a piece of orange carpet to put in the boot,
Right.
so that she used to run a petrol station, and she would have to go down at night and close up, and she would throw us into the car to go down, and there wasn't enough room for me in the car, so I had to lie in the boot. And she put down some orange carpet, and that is literally my earliest memory, is
It
that
was the
bright
70s.
orange carpet in the boot of a Lada 1200.
Actually, I have a very similar memory because my grandparents had a Hyundai Pony van pickup truck, and my grandmother had made, so I had grey vinyl seats, but she had made like these orange nylon seat covers to go on them with elasticated bottoms, and I just remember those particularly.
But did you have a cushion as
Yeah,
well?
so that was the other bit, is that because it was only a two-seater, but we carried three, including, like 7-year-old me. So my grandmother would put a cushion on top of the handbrake, and I would sit there, and she'd put her seatbelt around both of us and plug it into my granddad's buckle, and he'd have no seatbelt because, he didn't believe in seatbelts. I think your family car choices do kind of prove that you are a little bit weird, because in my family, my granddad had, I think he had an Austin like 1100 thing, or 1300, I don't know which one. And then he had a Cortina, and then a Cortina, and then a Cortina,
Okay.
and then a Cortina. And then a BMW.
Okay.
3 Series, base model 3 Series. He retired and treated himself to a base model E30 BMW 316 with no radio, but it did have a sunroof.
Steel
Steel
sunroof.
Yeah, it did.
Very, very 80s spec.
Yeah, very 80s, very austere. And he had that for a long time. And then he had 2 Ford Focuses. Going back to the blue oval, like the BMW was a little blip.
But on the other hand, though, your mum had like Volvo 340s.
My mum had a Volvo 340 when I was little, until I was 10.
And how many Volvo 340s do you now own?
4, I believe.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so there is
that
definitely
may have influenced you somewhat.
just a little bit, yeah.
Like, I have you seen me wanting to go buy a Wartburg yet? Nope. There you go.
No, that's true.
Although it is interesting though, like while we have been away, we have actually bought another car, which has a connection to my past,
Yes.
like a literal connection to my
Literal.
past. So that'll be coming up in a
Yeah.
video, probably on the Also Driven channel.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's amazing because obviously that car had a massive connection to adventure and travel with me. And I got so excited when we just happened to see it for sale,
Yeah.
that we literally bought it from Italy and had the guy deliver it to my sister's house. My sister was a paramedic in West Belfast for 40 years and isn't really behind the door about coming forward. And her words were quite unrepeatable on a family YouTube channel
Is this
about
family?
what was parked in her driveway.
Yes,
It's going to need a lot of work.
it is going to. We need to say one of the. What was the main sentence, Jim?
Someone's taking a shit in the back seat, Jim.
So yay! I can't wait to fix that because I know who that's going to be. Fiat's supposed to stand for Fix It Again, Tony. Should I change my name?
Oh yeah, you don't have a T in your name?
No,
You
I don't
have
have
no
a
T's?
T.
It's a bit of a shame.
No.
Oh well. Into France land. Okay, big bump, hold your arms.
I'm holding.
Bump.
Bump. I exaggerated with the phone. Do you think anyone can tell?
Who knows?
Down a bump, down a
Down a
bump,
bump, down a bump. Bump!
Oh God, the suspension is so hard on this Fiat.
You said about memory boxes. One
Yeah.
of the things that's actually quite interesting about this little Fiat is that a lot of the time we do concentrate on its kind of sad history. We kind of, that's what motivated us to do this road trip and this challenge.
Yeah.
And, try and take the car and do some good and raise some money for mine.
Yeah.
So that hopefully people in similar circumstances in the future have a brighter outcome.
Yeah.
But one of the fun little things about the car is that I keep finding glitter in it. So we've changed the seats, we've hoovered, we've cleaned, but there is still glitter appears in the car. It's one of those little things that I keep thinking it's like, it connects back to maybe slightly happier memories in the car. Fun days out, going to a birthday party,
Yeah.
maybe it was a hen do. and the glitter just got everywhere, and people had a really nice time.
Yeah.
And it's strange how you leave these little things behind for other people to kind of go, oh,
Yeah,
maybe we
yeah.
had really good fun in this thing.
know.
Yeah. But if anybody knows how to get glitter out of a car, do let us know.
You don't want to get rid of the glitter.
I know.
You don't want to go. You should keep
I
the glitter.
know.
It's
The
part
glitter,
of the car.
the glitter is part of the car, and
Yeah,
part of its
the
history.
car. Yeah. So I hope that our little adventure has kind of honoured the memory of Jess, who's the girl who owned this car, and that we've
Yeah.
done her justice. That she looked like she was being royally screwed over by the garage. We have fixed all that, and we have driven it to Sicily and done a ridiculous challenge of doing some dinner parties based on Italian food we bought in Italy, and driving back in like 24 hours in her old car.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, that's some of her friends and her family watch this video and realise that, there's a connection there, even though we never met Jess.
Yeah.
And we don't really know what she was like, but we know she drove this car, and we are now hopefully going to drive back home and have a lovely dinner party with our family and friends when we get home.
Yes. Because this is normally the point in the Top Gear challenge where the boys sit in the car and they wax lyrical about how they didn't really appreciate the car when they bought it, and they have bonded with it over the trip. But I think we kind of had bonded with it long before the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was one of those things, we couldn't not buy it.
All right, there we go. I should duck down to make you look nice and
It's fine, I don't need to look nice and tall.
dull.
Yes, dear.
Well, we have plants now. Ooh.
Yes. In no way are we keeping that in.
Oh,
Anyway.
that's in the beginning bit.
Uh-huh.
You know the, what do you call the bit?
Yeah,
The-
teaser.
That's in the teaser. The other thing is, though, what are we going to do with this car in the future? I mean, what are our long-term plans for it? That's the thing.
I don't know.
We do have an awful lot of cars.
I know.
And
And we've just bought another one.
we've just bought another one.
That's
And you
basically
still
identical
haven't
to this.
sold any of yours.
No, I know. If anyone wants to buy a Renault 5, let me know.
Yeah, the Renault 5 has to go.
The Renault 5 has to go. The red Volvo has to go. And not allowed to sell the Focus. I'll keep that one.
Yeah. But on the other hand, though, again, that's very similar to this,
a
is
car
because
memory.
it was your husband's mum's car, and then it was his brother's car,
Yeah.
and now it's yours. And none of these people want you to sell it
No.
because it's been around for 22?
Yeah, 22 years.
22 years. So, you it is a weird. The thing is, though, we actually have the unit. So the unit is
A blessing and a curse.
a blessing and a curse. But the thing is, though, the thing is worth 250 quid, really.
Yeah.
300.
Yeah.
It's not really doing any harm in the unit. It's sitting there. It is a fully functioning car. It's MOT'd shortly.
It will be. I just need a lower arm or two.
Yeah. Which is your speciality.
I seem to be doing lower arms all the blooming time.
Yeah. And
Oh, we did that on this.
Yeah, we did it on this,
I
and the
forgot that.
XC70 needs
Yeah.
it as well.
Yeah. Everything needs lower arms.
You don't really get on with small
Uh,
Fiats as well as I do.
I really like the Cinquecento. I get on with that really well. I don't get on with this one as well.
Yeah.
I find it never seems to be happy, I think. It's
Should
always-
we change the gearbox?
Is it worth it? It's done 160,000 miles. That's why, because the new gearbox is
400 quid.
400 quid fitted. I can't remember because that company does it non-fitted, unfitted.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to change a gearbox myself.
You're walking away from a challenge.
It's really heavy. All right, if you want me to change the gearbox, I can. I think it's something like, though, the extra cost for them to do it is not
Yeah, because they
insane.
do it in a day.
But yeah,
like
they
you
just-
drive up, hand the car over, and they hand you back with a different gearbox.
Because they
in it.
have, and this the reason this car has a different gearbox is because they all break.
Well, the gearboxes actually don't break. It's the synchros go.
I mean, that is part of the gearbox. I would say.
True, but you know, it's not like, because this is one of the things about, because obviously I am a huge Fiat fan and I am very
Really?
aware of their limitations. But here's one for you to think of is when you're driving long distance or on your commute, see how many Fiats you see broken down. because I'm going to tell you, it's a long time since you've seen a Fiat at the side of the road with its hazard lights on and the bonnet up. It's more likely going to be somebody's Vauxhall or
a Land Rover.
A Land Rover, than a Fiat. Because what happens with Fiats is they have this sort of like dog with a broken leg thing, where they kind of like, you know, something goes wrong. That was a really nice yellow Fiat. Very nice Saab 900. No, 93.
93, last generation.
But in bright yellow. Anyway, sorry, we digress. The Fiats are like like a dog with a broken leg. In that, like, yes, there's something terribly wrong with it, but it just limps on. And, you know, I have been all around the world in these cars. I've driven them from Asia to San Francisco via the Arctic and the Sahara, and I have never once had to abandon one of these cars and just get a rental and go home.
No, that's very true.
So, and it's the same with these gearboxes. Yes, you lose synchro, but if you're a decent driver, it shouldn't make a big difference.
No, it doesn't make a difference.
No.
It just crunches.
It just crunches, and you can still get to where you're going.
Yeah,
but,
you can.
Yeah, there is a problem with the gearbox.
But it's had a replacement gearbox because it probably had that problem.
Yes.
Which this one also has.
Yeah, third gear crunches occasionally.
But it's the wrong gearbox for the car, so it's very low ratio, so it just ends up being very quick off the lights and stuff, but so buzzy at speed because we're doing 4,000 RPM at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you can feel it. You can feel that it's not relaxed.
No.
And I think, for me, that's kind of puts a downer on the car for me. It's a driving experience.
Yeah.
It is very kind of frenetic.
But the flip side, as we found in Turin, is that it's fantastic around town because it gives it much more sort of pep away from the traffic lights. Or if you're kind of like Anglesey, where I am, you just drop it into fourth and trundle around the island. Because the speed limits just constantly go 20, 40, 50, 40, 20, 30, 20. And you can drive it like an automatic.
Yeah, because it could just stick in fourth.
Yeah, and just
almost
trundle
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we're fine. It's probably a lot easier to unpack the car once we finish these. That's all I have to say.
I'm going to probably maybe just put it down and then we'll unpack the car. I think a lot of it will depend on what you do in terms of where you end up living.
Yeah, true.
You know, this is ideal for Anglesey, but what sort of journeys are you going to be making when you're living in sort of the East Midlands, East Anglia region?
Yeah. Which is our other bit of news. Yes, I'm moving from Anglesey, so yes, at some point soon.
At some point next year, maybe.
Yeah.
So you know, you may not need this.
Well, the thing is, though, with our cars is we don't actually need any of them. You have a brand new Kia Niro.
I do, yeah.
And that is the only car you need.
Correct.
You have, between us, we have about 26 cars, including our friend Oliver, who shares a unit with us. And, you know, we need 3 between us.
I know. So need is a strong word there.
Yeah,
but
doing a lot of carrying.
Doing a lot of carrying, but you know, but I need I need a Vauxhall Astra with a saloon boot, like, you know, a drug dealer needs his fix. It's like, give it to me, I can't live without it.
I'm gonna have another drink. It's all too stressful. It's too stressful. I'm gonna have another drink.
2 tablespoons of cocoa powder.
The only one that I couldn't live without, I would say, would be the Cinquecento.
Really?
As in, obviously, you know, with my work with the museum, if the museum took on my classic Panda, I would let it like go there.
Wow.
They already have one of my classic Pandas, so it's unlikely
true.
they're going to want another.
Yeah.
But if the Panda would go to the museum, and if they take Days to the museum, that would be okay too.
They already have it.
I know.
I think we are going to have to be realistic about Des. I mean, I've been underneath him.
You're quite mean.
So is the MOT tester screwdriver.
Don't be mean. He's still got a few years left. He's still got a few years left. We can eke him through a few years.
All right.
Because one of the other things was I was hanging on to Days because we were hoping when we were away to look at like some very cheap property in the south of Italy, and we were then going to drive Days out, and he would be our Italian car, where he would live out the remainder of his days in very dry, salt-free Italy. But unfortunately, the current Mr. McGill sort of did the number crunching, and it's just not going to work. So, unfortunately.
Oh well, that's good because I'd miss shit.
Oh, okay. And it would be a bit of a commute to make a video.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It would.
Okay, so yeah, but the Cinquecento is the only car that I would genuinely miss. It is really strange. You sort of said about like it doesn't have that buzzy thing.
Yeah.
Our friend David from Indecisive Auto is incredibly sensitive to noise, vibration, and harshness, and even he can't find fault with it.
I know.
Which is that is a huge tick when it comes to a car. And
Yeah.
it rides better than this.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It rides like a much bigger car,
Yeah,
which is really strange because it's absolutely minuscule.
yeah. And it's really strange because one of the things I found over the years is because of my weird car background family, when I first got the Panda, everybody said the Panda was terrible and it was crap. And then that has become now like, oh, it's a cultural icon.
I know.
Giugiaro says it's just like a pair of jeans. You can wear it to any occasion. And it's like, I'm literally hearing this from the same journalists who like 20 years ago were being snotty
Yeah.
with me
Yeah.
at a fifth gear film shoot. Not mentioning any names, Tom Ford. Anyway, Tiff Nadell.
Okay.
But then the same thing happened with the 126. The 126 was kind of seen as this naughty car
Yeah.
and this joke. And then what happened was it became this sign of like kind of Polish freedom. And now a lot of the Poles are doing the whole reminiscing thing. Like I drove one to Detroit and the
course you
number
did.
of people, yeah, I know, it's just like, it's just the most natural thing in the world to go buy a car in Warsaw and drive it to Detroit, USA. But while I was driving out there was numerous Polish people came up and they got so emotional because they hadn't seen one since they left Poland and they'd not gone back.
Yeah.
And the stories was always, oh, I was driven to the airport in one of those cars. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen one since. People got so emotional. And this has driven the values up. And as the values go up, so does the sort of nostalgia and the want. And oh my goodness, it's such an amazing car.
Yeah.
It's a cultural icon
Yeah.
of Poland.
Yeah.
We are in the cafe here on top of Lingotto because of course it's Italy. There can't be a place without a cafe. And this has been named the Fiat Cafe 500, Fiat 500, which is ironic given the 500 was never built at Lingotto, but they all came out from Mirafiori up until 72 when they switched production for the last 3 years to Termini Imerese in Sicily. But what we got here is the master model for the 500's body, made of solid wood, as you can see, and this needed to be made to extremely close tolerances because this was actually the reference for the body tooling, and it had to be preserved for as long as production went on because it also served as a sort of a quality check for the stamped sheet metal out of the presses.
So the theory would be that you could get a bit of sheet metal out of the press, put it on this, and
you
if
put it
fit
here and it should be perfect.
absolutely perfect. Wow. Okay.
Well, as perfect as a 500 can be, of course.
Of course.
Because Matteo has already started the redemption of the Cinquecento because he says that one, you've got that huge gestation period, which meant that it's incredibly well designed, it's incredibly well packaged. There's like as much room in it as there is in this, more probably in the back.
Yeah.
It's industrial design.
Yeah, it's crisp industrial design in a way that. So the problem with this car is that it's a compromise of design because it's a pastiche. I mean, they've done a very good job of making it look like a car from 1957 and 2008.
But yet still actually make it quite usable.
Yeah, but it is massively compromised because
Yeah, especially in the back.
the back is very tight and the boot is ridiculous. But the Cinquecento,
Yeah, because it's a slightly smaller boot, but you've got vertical.
yeah, so
We can put a wheelchair in it.
Yeah, we could put a wheelchair in. There's no way you get a wheelchair in the back of this because the boot is like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little triangle. Well, if this is the Cannoli-Ball run, does that make me Burt Reynolds and you Captain Chaos?
So we have, you'll never use this, but so we have these warning lights on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Because the stop-start system has stopped
Yeah.
and refuses to start again. It's not a huge issue. It's just it has two warning lights that's slightly annoying.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that you will find absolutely terrifying. And that's how you get rid of the warning lights. You just turn the car off and back on again at 60 miles an hour. Because one of the things was, though, this fridge back here has been a godsend, but it is actually the first time we've used it in anger. It had some electrical problems, and little like wonder hands here actually like did a rewire job on it. Yeah. We tested it briefly before we left, but then we found out that it didn't work when we got about 5 minutes away from Matteo.
But in happy fridge news, we fixed the fridge.
And how did you fix it, Sean?
I pushed it in a bit further.
Top tip. If you're finding something's not going in too well, you're like this, just push harder. Really hard. Push!
Right. Yeah.
We're going to have so many little clips that we can put into like the teaser at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that one.
Oh, so going to put that one in.
So not putting that one in.
And I am Captain Chaos, and this is my trusty sidekick, Xion.
Okay.
I was in Africa one time with the classic Panda.
Of course.
And it was having some
Was it in band camp?
No.
Okay.
Can I tell my story now, please?
Yeah. We're
having some engine issues with the Panda, the classic Panda in Africa, and we found this little backstreet garage, and this guy looked like Danny DeVito, and he did not speak a word of English, so we kind of got across to him. So because the Panda's had a couple of different engines over the years, it actually had a Panda engine from a later car which had fuel injection, so it didn't have the little lobe on the camshaft that ran the little piston that pumped into the mechanical fuel pump. So I had to literally sit in this back straight with this little Moroccan man going, no, 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 no. To which then he leaned over, looked in the engine bay, noticed that the fuel pump was missing, and went, ah, no!
I mean, no comment.
Oh my God, I'm talking with my hands already. I've been in Italy like 5 days and I'm doing this.
Kind of my memory of the trip is that joy of cafe culture or bar culture.
Oh God, yeah, we went for a drink.
We went for a drink in the centre of Turin at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's life.
Okay, now we need to tell them what square it is. So when you're watching the Italian Job, the big square that has all the Fiat 500s gridlocked, and I think there's a scene where like there's people sitting on the roof and like they're kind of like there's a couple making out in the middle of the traffic jam, kissing passionately in the middle of the traffic jam because they're not going anywhere. It's just endless beeping.
So because they're Italians and they just like randy
and beeping.
Yeah.
And that is that was the square we were in, and it was absolutely friggin' lovely.
Oh, it was really lovely, yeah. But it's, it just makes travelling to other places so nice, because if we were in, I don't know, Daventry, outside a pub at 11 o'clock on a Thursday night.
At the end of October.
At the end of October. First of all, they would like be looking at us very strangely. But there would be an atmosphere. There would be a vibe. There would be a kind of, is it all going to kick off? Is Deborah going to have like just one too many shots? And
why did you pick the name Deborah?
Random.
Can't think why you would pick the name Deborah. That Deborah is going to kick off after one too many.
Yeah.
Can't think why you would go with Deborah.
I couldn't possibly comment.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Oh, here we go.
Douche français.
I don't think it's douche.
What does douche mean in French?
Douche is a shower.
Oh, right, okay.
Douane is customs, although I pronounced that terribly, but it's better than douche.
Sit rep, tonight's dinner. What's happening?
Dinner. So, we have the ingredients in the fridge there. We are thundering our way towards the Eurotunnel via a little bit of lunch because we got up early enough so that we had hopefully a bit of time for lunch. And we have a 4-course Italian feast, and we have 8 people in total coming. So it is quite a big deal. I think I've had to make a new section for my dining table to fit 8 people around it. So
he's quite creative.
I try.
Yes.
The trouble is usually when we use Jim's phone without microphones, you're holding it And so it...
Yes, it has this directional thing.
Yeah, so it takes your voice, and you're really loud anyway, and then it ignores me, essentially.
I don't think that's going to make it into the edit.
It is.
Yes, we are going to have a little bit of help later, as my husband is actually back in Cambridge.
Yeah. What, you're not going to help me in the kitchen?
No, I'm going to help too.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Whatever you tell me.
Okay. All right. Pour the wine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll pour drinks. I'll have some crisps. Very nice crisps too, they're from Milan.
So one of the recipes Matteo gave us for the main course required marinating it overnight, which, given that we would have only about 4 hours between arriving in Cambridge and people needing to eat it, was not going to work terribly well. And we hadn't brought our chopping boards and everything so that we could do it and leave it in the car to marinate overnight, which if we'd have thought in advance, we probably could have done. What's he called who does that? Was it Keith Floyd who does that? Like no, the other one. Rick Stein.
Oh, right, but Keith Floyd used to cook as well on
outside.
The pier outside.
Oh, right, okay. Well, they both did.
Yeah, they both did it.
Yeah, we could have done that. We could have had a little setup with a trestle table and done our chopping and marinated.
On the roof of Lingotto.
On the roof of Lingotto.
Because they are so precious about that building that they would have had an absolute shit fit if we had turned up and went, yeah, we're just doing some traditional Piemonte cooking.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, there's space in the lift for a trestle table. What,
Alan has prepped.
Alan has prepped.
Yeah.
A little bit, so we have had a little bit of help. So when we get into the house, we should be able to throw some things straight into the oven, which is good.
Right, what have you got here?
So this is the main course, which is a beef stew. Again, we're going off piste. It doesn't call for beef stock, but Alan and I have both tasted it, and we have made a collective executive chef decision that it requires some beef stock. Whoops! Oh no, that's always my trainer. Bucker. No. That's great. And now I've got gravy browning basically all over my trainer and the house.
So much stuff. I mean, we spent like 2 hours in the car just bitching about other YouTubers.
No, we didn't. Well, none of that is true. Well,
anyway, sorry, there's a reason why I picked this up. Why? Like, I feel like it's the cocoa. It's went to my head. Nothing to do with the wine.
This was our technical
Yes,
challenge.
this was your technical because Matteo kind of gave very vague instructions on this.
It's called a bunette. I don't know how you'd say that in Italian. Bunnet.
It's a bonnet.
Bunnet.
Bonnet.
It's a chocolate bunnet, and it's our technical challenge in the sense that the quantities in the recipe were not correct, and the other quantities were not given, and the type of amaretti biscuits were not specified. So given all of those challenges and the fact that we did it after driving back from the middle of France, I think we've done all right.
Yes,
it's quite nice. No one died.
Yes.
Can we stop now?